I snuck a little from my mom's cabinet because I wanted to fit in at a party until the cops showed up. It was no secret that my family lived in a household of drinkers and partiers. The weekends were filled with cussing, ranting, and raving, but it was also a lot of fun for me. My parents never allowed me to drink because I was an underage preteen, but one time I snuck a few drinks in while my parents weren't watching. I knew exactly where they hid the goods. That night, I blacked out since I was so wasted. My mom was a little concerned because she thought I was sick with a stomach bug, but I assured her it was just me being overstuffed with food so she wouldn't worry too much. My dad just didn't care. He had already fallen fast asleep from whatever he had to drink. The following day was a Saturday, so I didn't have to go to school, but my mom worked the ER, so she worked all weekend. I was trying to sober up, but by then my mom had already gone off to work, so I didn't have to worry about her suspicions of my illness. That's when I started to come up with a plan to have more of a sense of belonging or social acceptance. I felt really left out at my middle school, so I wanted to do something daring, attend a college party with a hell of a lot of drinking. I snuck some beers where I knew my parents were hiding them from me and brought them with me. I started walking, since I lived in a college town, towards some of the house parties that I knew college kids were having at the sorority houses. As I was walking, I noticed that there was one house in particular that was booming with people. Just kids who were partying, laughing, and having a good time, with shots and other drinking games that I knew nothing about. I snuck into the party since everyone was outside, and although I was only in middle school, everyone told me I looked 18 since I was so tall and wore so much makeup that I could definitely pass for a college kid. When I walked to the backyard and headed over with my cases of beer, everyone was whispering like they knew they had never seen me around before. I waited for hell to break loose and for people to kick me out of the party, but instead, they just stared at me and grabbed the cases of beer out of my hands as soon as they saw them. Half these kids were wasted out of their minds and likely had no idea what they were even doing. Then a random guy approached me. I felt really nervous because I was underage and, well, what if he wanted to date me when I was only in middle school? But instead, he invited me to the drinking game they were all playing. They were taking Jello shots, and although I didn't know how it was played exactly, I caught on fast and played along as if I was just part of the crowd. "Amanda!" someone shouted. Crap, I thought. Someone had noticed me. "Make sure you kick him in the shins if he tries to pull anything on you," a voice whispered to me from behind. That's when I realized it was the guy from earlier who had invited me to the drinking game. He was looking out for me, of course, but I wanted to see who had called me by name because I still couldn't see who it was or where they were calling from. Admittedly, I had taken a few shots and felt a little buzzed by now. Suddenly, I felt hands in my hair. Someone was warmly but lightly kissing me on the hair. I wanted him to show who he was, but I still couldn't see him. But my voice cut off because it got muffled by his hands on my mouth. Someone was taking me in the back corner of the backyard and gagging me, choking me, until, that is, I heard a slap and fists pounding against each other lightly. "Let her go," the voice said. I had blacked out momentarily, but then I realized that someone was trying to save me. I looked up. It was the guy who talked to me at the beginning of the party. "You know, you should really be more careful next time," he whispered gently. Then he took me to the back and started kissing me lightly. That is, until my parents showed up with the cops behind them. Someone had recognized me clearly and ratted me out. I didn't go to juvie, but at least I got what I wanted, and that was a guy who loved me for who I was.